5, 4, 3, 2.
What's up, YouTube? It's your girl, Skylar Tashay, and you're listening to Sky Diaries podcast, and welcome back. It is episode 18, and today we're going to be talking about turning step backs into step ups. The heart of this episode is about shifting perspective. Instead of letting failures, rejections, or struggles define you, they can actually prepare you for your next breakthrough. Setbacks aren't a dead end, they're feedback. It can feel disappointing at times. A lot of the times when things aren't going as we planned, we get riled up, we get anxious. It's a lot of anxiety around in it, especially when you're giving something your all and you feel like you're not getting the same energy in return. But like I said in previous episodes, you have to wait for things to catch up to you. Something that may seem as a setback or something that's pushing you back could actually be pushing you forward. Just because something puts you on pause just for a second doesn't mean you're just so behind. That could also really just be preparing you to push you so much more forward than you even was before. For me, this relates for me in a way like in high school. Like I've said multiple times, being in a high school, right, for 3 years that I just did not feel comfortable in. I didn't feel like I could be myself in that environment fully, feeling like I was being judged just so much. It's like I was going through all of that. It felt like setbacks for me in a way with like this YouTube stuff, because I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming that. I'm not really truly blaming the environment, but how I felt in that moment was like I just felt like I wouldn't have been able to move creatively in that environment and really put my all into the YouTube, because it was like I was being watched just for posting my poetry online and stuff like that. So I just felt like that environment just wasn't meant for me to grow in. And like a lot of the times, like it felt bad, it felt disappointing because it's like I wanted to post more. I wanted to get into YouTube earlier and stuff like that. And it felt like a setback, right? And the way I see it, years later, I feel like it pushed me forward because of the things I did. Like, even though I went through a lot those 3 years, I took my education very seriously to where it was like, okay, now leaving high school, I can go to a good school, because it's like a lot of these kids, they're not leaving the state, and they could have, because I would say I had tried to leave so many times, but it was one school in particular, right? It's a pretty known school, especially where I live at, and they wanted me to pay like 20 grand for my last 2 years of high school. So I would say this was around sophomore year, because we was gonna have to pay for the junior year and senior year. It was like 20 grand, and it just wasn't worth it. It was like we don't just have money to just throw away like that. And it's like I always knew that I wanted to leave Baltimore. Like I always knew I wanted to leave Baltimore, and I feel like if I would have spent, if my parents would have spent that 20 grand, it's like I probably wouldn't have money to go away for college. Like, besides, the scholarships and me getting good grades, it's like those things that was happening back then, my parents telling me that, hey, like we can't send you to this school, all those things that was making me feel like I'm just like my future is just set back, was really pushing me forward, because it's like, okay, now I am exposed to a lot of opportunities and a lot of things that like a lot of people don't have, especially after high school. And it's like whole time during high school, you thinking that, your future is getting pushed back. You're going to have to, do things. And it's not to say that I'm just going to get into it like right in the jump, but, you do have an advantage. And I think like for me really seeing that, because in that moment, it's like I wasn't thinking about that, I was just upset. Right. And it took me, like I said, that was like sophomore year. So I would say about 2 years later, maybe a good year, like deep in the junior year, when I'm getting accepted into colleges and stuff like that, and I'm getting accepted with the scholarships and stuff, where I really realized like, hey, if you would have spent that 20 grand, or if you would have not gotten good grades when a lot of things was going on, it's like you wouldn't have this opportunity now. And that's just how that has played in my life. strongly. I mean, it's been so many different things. I think there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes of our lives that we don't really get to see, and we don't, we always second guess and we don't really understand. But just having trust in God and having faith in God and just having discernment for God will help with a lot of things. Just always just telling myself, like, everything happens for a reason. This is the path that God wants me to go on. Trust that path, and you will see the flowers, you will see the light. Trust me, you will see it. Even if you don't see it in that moment, like I said, it was like over a year, that was still in my head. I was still stuck at that school. It was a lot of things going in my mind, but I still had to push through, and I still had to do the things that I had to do in that moment. So, yes. But it is important, like I said, it can be very disappointing when you are putting your all into something and you feel like you're not growing, or it's just pushing you back. But it is important not to stay stuck in that space, because healing is a part of the step up. Not like, for me, I don't let anything keep me down for long. If you know me personally, I'm the type of person, I will bounce back. Whatever it is, I don't care if I'm crying on my hands and my knees, I'm going to bounce back. I think it just makes it stronger. It makes you stronger. I just take whatever I'm feeling and just put it into the things that I love. Like, you go through a breakup, like, what do these artists do? They put it into songs. They use that emotion, that pain, and they put it into purpose. They use their pain for purpose, and they make something so dark and so heartbreaking turn into something so beautiful and something that can help other people. So I just say, don't stay in that energy for long. Don't let what feels like a setback really end up being a setback. Because if you stay in that mindset and you stay in that, like, this is just pushing me back, you are losing focus on why you even started this, what you're doing, why you have love for it. You are losing focus. Keep pushing. It's trying to teach you something. Maybe you have to fix the formula on something. Maybe it's trying to get you better at something, or well adapted. You never know. Just trust the journey and trust the process, and trust that God is going to be leading you to the right destination where you're supposed to be at. So ask yourself, what is this setback trying to teach me? Like I said before, everything is always trying to teach you something. It's not meant to hurt you. It's not meant to harm you. I would say, for me, I think learning, for me, it was definitely learning patience. Like, that's what I was learning, because I feel like ever since a little kid, I've always been just an impatient person for some reason. I've always just been very, very anxious and just can never wait. And I think just especially waiting that long, but been going through those 3 years and just going through a lot and just not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. God was teaching me patience, going through those feelings of feeling like it was setting me back, which was really pushing me forward. But through that, it was teaching me all along patience. Like, things happen at the time that it is meant to happen. You can't force the timing of things. You just have to do what you need to do in that moment, and keep pushing through. Don't stay in that mindset for too long, and things will start to change. Like I said, tables always turn. Your time will come. The fruit of your labor will come. You just gotta wait and see. And maybe for you, maybe you have to learn patience as well. Maybe you have to learn discipline. Maybe you need to love on yourself more so you can show up for yourself more. It's a lot of things, a lot of lessons to be learned in those seasons where you're feeling like things are just happening to you and not for you. But just know that things are happening for you, not to you, and it's working with you, not against you. So don't fight it. Reframe your negative thoughts. Find small actions to move forward. Like I said, small things, small ways of just showing up for yourself, small ways of just showing patience to yourself and people around you, environments around you, the process of whatever you're doing. Just small steps create bigger changes, bigger mindset shifts. Yes. Instead of saying, why me, switch to, what is it preparing me for? Setbacks aren't clear in the moment. They'll make sense in hindsight. Redirection is not rejection. Always get back up. No matter what, always get back up. Always be determined after the things that you want, and don't let the things that may feel like it's setting you back take control, and don't let it take control of your whole mindset. Refocus, refocus, refocus. Stay focused, and things will come when it's time. I hope this episode helped one of y'all. I love y'all dearly. I'll see y'all very soon. Bye.